Enamóranos tú, Jesús, mi fiel amigo. Enamóranos de ti, Señor. Jesús, mi fiel amigo.
How he remembers the day that he left Monterrey and he left his dad behind. And he left to come to the United States so he could start a new life, and he left his family. And in a way, I was doing the same thing going to college. And in that letter, it said, I love you. I remember when I left my dad, and I know the journey that's before you. And with that, he left me a check. And I have that check to this day. It was dated June 1st, 1998. And it was a blank check with his signature on it. And he said, Mijo, if you're ever in need of any money, put anything you want on this check. It's signed. It's like cash in your hands. And you could spend it. You could buy what you need. I could never figure out when to cash in that check. And I realized I had never needed to cash in that check because my dad was never going to let me down. And I have that check to this day. I have that letter to this day. And I sent it to him for Father's Day. I said, Dad, you remember this? And he said, wow, I forgot, but now I remember that. And he responded back with a song that reminded him of his dad. See, my grandfather was a printer as well, and he owned a business. And I remember the day that my grandfather passed away, and I remember the day watching my dad cry for the first time. But leading up to that day, I remember seeing my dad and Tío Ricardo carrying my grandpa to the shower and taking care of him. And the lesson there was, take care of your children because I'm taking care of you. So thank you, Dad, for being an example with your dad and being an example for us as well. Two more points I want to share with you, and we'll get to getting started after that. But this fourth point is this: it's give your life to Jesus. I never knew what that meant growing up for 18 years in my house. I never knew what that meant. And my dad will confess and attest to that it wasn't anything for our family necessarily to make Jesus a center point as much as it was a tradition to go to church. And I remember the day that I gave my life to Jesus was in 2001, and I was a senior in high school. And my dad was watering the grass outside. And as he's watering the grass outside, waiting for his son Nino to show up, I showed up to the house, and my dad's waiting for me at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I thought, why are you doing this? Why are you waiting for me? And at this point, he had already given his life over to the Lord. And I thought he was going to get mad at me or yell at me because I was drunk. And he said, Mijo, I love you so much that I want you to have what I have. I have a relationship with the Lord, and I've made mistakes, and I want you to give your life to Jesus. It was at that moment that I told my dad, I want what you have. I want peace. And Dad, I want to be like
Enamóranos tú, Jesús, mi fiel amigo. Enamóranos de ti, Señor. Jesús, mi fiel amigo, mi dulce caminar. No quiero volver atrás, no quiero volver atrás. Llévame allá, donde sé que habrá paz, donde tengo que callar para escucharte hablar, donde todo es realidad y el tiempo no existe más. Una y otra vez, al estar yo junto a ti, no me puedo contener. Cuando me miras así, ya no hay nada que decir. Eres todo fiel amigo. Jesús, mi fiel amigo. Mi dulce caminar. Quédate conmigo, no quiero volver atrás. No quiero volver atrás. Jesús, mi fiel amigo. Mi dulce caminar. Quédate conmigo, no quiero volver atrás. No quiero volver atrás. No quiero volver atrás.
Yo solo quiero darte un beso y no más. Decirte lo que siento, cobijarte entre mis brazos y ya.
Dulce caminar. Quédate conmigo, no quiero volver atrás. No quiero volver atrás. No quiero volver atrás. No quiero volver atrás. Solo en ti, Señor, quiero estar. Solo en tu presencia. Solo contigo queremos estar, Señor Jesús. Levanta tus manos y deja que Él te ministre.